welcome to this video. In this video I wanted to talk about a couple of things. This lesson is more for beginners rather than guys who have been playing for a while, probably know this kind of stuff. But basically this is just for beginners. And things that you might find difficult when you first start playing the upright bass. One thing that you need to remember is when you first pick up the bass, is that you're holding it like this. This area right here, the nut, needs to be in this area right in here. I've seen guys, they got it way up there, play like I don't know how they do that. But that's basically the first thing. That's a general rule of thumb, is that the nut needs to be right in that area. And the second thing I wanted to talk about is your correct posture. Because if you're on a long gig, this thing will eat your lunch if you let it. So the main thing is to keep it about like this way. Now I know you see guys and they got it down here like that, and that you can do it, and it's okay. Doing that in rockabilly, it looks cool, whatever. But if you start doing that too much, especially if you're on a real long gig, boy, that'll puts a lot of tension on your back. And another thing is, just try and stay relaxed. Don't tense up when you're playing. If you're going for a fill or whatever, don't tense up, because like I said, this thing, it will eat your lunch if you let it. And for me, the upright bass is a lot of fun. I really enjoy playing it. Lot funner than the electric bass as far as I'm concerned, and it's just a lot funner to sit around and play by yourself and with other guys in a group and whatever. And so I would keep these things in mind. If you go and do a 45-minute gig or an hour gig, that's not too bad. You see these guys climbing up all around, up and down the bass, holding it in crazy positions and things like that, and throwing it around. That's fine. But if you're on a blues gig or something where you got to play like 3 or 4 hours, you definitely you want to keep good posture, keep your back straight as best as you can, and that'll save you a lot. Another thing, as far as slapping goes, you can slap the bass with metal strings. There's lots of guys that do it. Personally, I don't. What I use, I got the Weed Whacker Pros, and I got them from Fantastic Musical Instruments in Pasadena. Tom, he's a real good guy, real nice guy, does really good work on your bass if you need it worked on, or he sells lots of cool basses and stuff. Just a good guy. Now, I've tried different strings and done different other kinds, and for slapping for myself, this is just personal preference, the Weed Whacker Pros, they do a good job. They're a little bit clacky, but in rockabilly that does sound kind of cool. And so that's just my personal opinion. The metal strings, they're harder to slap. They tear your hands up. Where these things, it seems like your hand bounces off of it pretty good. And those things you might want to just try out for yourself. There's all kinds of different brands and different kinds and everything. But the Weed Whacker Pros, they work out pretty good for me. So anyway, next I want to talk about finger position. So let's get into that. Okay, so your finger positioning, you start about 2 inches from the nut, and holding your hand like the claw, right? So you have F, F sharp, G. That's your first position. Your second position, F sharp, G, G sharp. Third position, G, G sharp, A. Fourth position, A sharp, B. Right? And that's how you follow it all up on all these strings the same way. You know, if you don't know the names of the notes, that's easy to figure out. You can find things online and things like that. Uh, it's really not that hard. So let me move back a little bit. So same thing up here. You're on this B, right? So you have C, C sharp, D, right? Then you have D sharp, E, and so that's your octave. Do the same thing here. You know, you got D right there, D sharp or E flat. Some guys make sure you say E flat. I don't know why. So you got D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G. You just follow it up right there. Then you got to get into thumb position. That's going to have to be for a different lesson. If you know, you get up, know where your octaves are and everything, and know the different names of the notes. That's plenty good for right now. Another one I might try, a thumb position lesson. Okay, so the last thing, I'm just going to show you a little easy little slapping thing. We use E, and you can use a different A. You can use that A or you use this A. It doesn't matter. But the main thing that you want to try and do is just start out slow. Just start out real slow. Keep it in time. And gradually build it up. Once you get comfortable with that, you know, keeping it in time, making sure it's all even. You can speed it up, you know, for whatever kind of a song that you need or whatever. But when you're first trying to figure it out, it's good just to keep it real slow, right? You know, just keep it even. And then you A, and then you go back to the E, B, A, E. So I'm going to look at it through this view so you can see what my hands are doing. Now, it is important to try and keep your hand in the correct position, you know, that way if you want to do a run or, you know, but yeah, it's hard sometimes rockabilly, you just hang on it with that one finger or whatever, but it is a proper way to keep your hand in the correct position, you know. But like I say, you get lazy, it happens. But let's run through that pattern again, and just remember, just keeping it real slow. And so it's E, A, and B. Okay, so I hope these tips might help you if you're a new player, help you learn a couple of things. And just remember, everything about the upright bass, you got to think about it. If you're going to be a slapping kind of guy, you got to think about it like a drummer. Think about it like a drummer. When you hear drum fills, that's kind of how your bass fills are going to go. And just keeping it in time, keeping it even. And I'd just like to say, you know, it's better to keep things solid than it is to do some crazy thing and get the whole band messed up. That's basically it. But if you're going to do fills and do that, it's just like drum fills. And if you got a good drummer and you guys work together, you can keep those things moving real even, real smooth, and that's what helps keep the band going. So if you're in a rockabilly band, the guitar player is singing and playing, you know, he needs you guys to be solid. So anyway, I hope these few tips might help you out, and be looking for my next video. And thanks for watching.